over 21,000 people, more people voted for the PNP than the JLP.
You don't have to vote for me, but you have to acknowledge the truth.
Over 21,000 people, more people voted for the PNP than the JLP.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna take all this bomb buckler out for repair. So you're not trouble, you know? Yeah, trouble there, you go.
Jamaica, no growth. Jamaica, unstable.
I said, wait a minute. Wait a
Mr. Golding, sir, it's 4 days after the local government election. The votes were finally counted yesterday to completion. But there's still this discussion about who won the election. And sometimes who won is based on how you look at the results.
Right.
So in your mind, how do you justify a PNP win in this situation?
Okay, so it's a local government election. There are 14 local authorities in the country. One of them is the city municipality of Portmore, a very large local authority. And the other 13 are the municipal corporations, which are the parishes, including Kingston and St. Andrew, which is a single municipal corporation. So there are 14. We won 7. The JLP won 7. The 7 that we won include KSA-MC, the Kingston and St. Andrew, which is the prize. And we'll now have a PNP mayor of the KSA-MC. We won the city municipality of Portmore, and we won all the others to take us to 7. We won the popular vote across the country. What does the popular vote mean? It means that in Jamaica on Monday, over 21,000 people, more people voted for the PNP than the JLP on Monday. We won the popular vote. That's a significant statistic as well. And we improved in 8 parishes or municipal corporations. The JLP only improved in 2. And in both of those, we are taking those 2 matters to court because they were very marginal. 7 votes in one instance in St. Thomas, 3 in one instance in Southborough. So Lando in St. Thomas and Southborough were very marginal losses, and there were some issues that we have identified that we think should give us a very good chance when the matter goes to court.
Could you expound on what some of those issues are?
I don't want to get into the details of those situations. Our lawyers have looked at those, at the matters there, and we don't just bring legal proceedings because it's a close outcome. It's based on what? So things to do with whether ballots were, the situation concerning certain ballots. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to get into the details of it.
Your description of the current JLP administration has been pretty stinging. And over the past few months, past few years, you've pointed to certain instances that you would say make them unfit to lead this country. Is it that Jamaicans aren't seeing that, or is it that you're looking at it from a different vantage point? Because based on those things that you've described over the years, would you not have expected a more clear victory for the People's National Party?
We were, first of all, we have improved very substantially in this election on Monday. In fact, we got more votes on Monday than we got in the general election in 2020. The JLP, on the other hand, had a catastrophic result. If you compare their general election result of 2020 with what happened on Monday, they fell by, I don't know the precise number, but it's over 100,000. Yeah. So the country has spoken very, very loudly, I think, on Monday. We were up against a wall of state resources being deployed in the campaign, roads being patched and fixed all over the country, monies being run in various ways, state resources being used. So it wasn't an easy wicket for us to bat on. But the voters were very determined, and that's why over 21,000 more Jamaicans voted PNP on Monday than voted JLP. So from my point of view, it has been a referendum on the government, and the people of Jamaica have said they want change. And it's not surprising to me because, as you know, in terms of governance issues, the JLP is found very wanting. There are these 6 MPs under investigation for illicit enrichment, and we can't find out who they are. They've put a gag order on themselves, so they won't disclose that. The Prime Minister's Integrity Commission declarations for 2 years are not certified, and he's the head of government of Jamaica. That's a big issue for me. I think that should disqualify him from running again as Prime Minister, because that is untenable. You can't have a situation where your own Prime Minister can't pass muster with the Integrity Commission.
But
and then there's a massive...
Yes, it's no fault of his own, though.
Of course it's his own fault. Of course it's his own fault. He can say what he likes. And so, I mean, we don't know the details, but it's his fault. Then there are the cost of living issues, which are very real. People are feeling it hard to put food on the table, hard to send children to school. The government's response to that has been inadequate, and we've said so. The crime and violence issues are very serious in the country, and the record of this government is much worse than the PNP last administration on the issue of crime and violence, in particular murders in the country. The education system is failing, and we are not seeing an adequate response to that, where you have over 30% of primary school children leaving primary school and entering secondary school cannot read and write, cannot do basic arithmetic. The health system, where you have a situation where you go to a public hospital and you're sick and you need to be admitted, you end up spending sometimes days sitting on a bench or in a wheelchair in a corridor, suffering the indignity of that. And some people don't survive that ordeal. These are the issues which the people of Jamaica are judging this government by, and the arrogance of how they conduct themselves in Parliament and elsewhere. The people of Jamaica have rejected them. And we think that we won the election because of those things. And yes, it's an equal number of councils, equal number of local authority with 7-7, but the popular vote was ours. And we won more councils, more divisions in the country, 115 out of 228. We were more than 50% of the divisions in the country went to the PNP. So if you analyze the results, we were the winners.
People have questioned whether Mark Golding is the right person to lead the People's National Party, and whether you could galvanize a strong enough contingent of people to actually win an election. What does this result say in that regard?
I think this result is such a significant improvement over where we were the last time there was an election in Jamaica in 2020. It, I think, endorses the quality of the leadership of the party. At this time, we have brought the party back from where it was to a point where we have, in my view, and in the view of, I think, anybody who's looking at it analytically, we've won this local government election. We have demonstrated that the JLP is on the ropes. Their voter support has collapsed relative to 2020. Ours is improved relative to 2020, and all of the other metrics I've already spoken to suggest and support the view that we are on the up and up. So, I mean, I think as leader of the party, I can justifiably say that we have done extremely well, and we will continue to improve. We have a lot of information now, based on what happened on Monday, as to how to deal with the situation to further improve. And of course, because of how we were, where we're coming from, you know, there were those doubts as to whether we could pull this off. And we have now established what we're capable of, and that is going to also impact how people perceive us and the support they're prepared to give us. So I think we're in a very good position to win back government when the general elections are called.
Do you have confidence in the OJ? They have been getting a lot of flack since Monday, with the delays sometimes, and even from the vantage point of the media with getting the results on election night. And so do you maintain confidence in the EOJ to deliver, particularly at the general election level?
We have concerns. We have concerns on the length of time this has taken. We have concerns on the way they've presented the data, which we don't think is a balanced and fair way to have presented it as well, and has led to this misrepresentation to the public that the JLP won the election, which is flawed and false. So we have some concerns, but they are a critical institution, and it is very, very important that they be above the fray, that the public as a whole has confidence in them. And we will continue to support that and support the institution, but they need to do some introspection. And there may need to be some changes, you know, based on, I'm not in a position to say the specifics of what has led to these concerns, but, you know, it is something which the country as a whole, I think, is going to demand that there be some improvements there.
When you say changes, you mean in personnel or?
As I said, I don't want to get into the specifics of it in terms of what may need to change, but clearly, where you have concerns like have been articulated, you know, there needs to be some improvement.
All right.